Curtis A reached out to me, said make a theme song for my show. Said alright, just give me all the details, man. And my homie says he don't know. Well, if you're gonna pay me big bucks, cause I might should have something to say. He said, you know what I bring, I'm the customizing king, nothing else matters anyway. So is he gonna have guests? I don't know. Is he gonna go live? I don't know. What time will it be? What will you see? I'm pretty much in the dark, but I can guarantee
You'll be customizing action figures, getting paint all on his fingers.
it's art by Akerman. It's art by Akerman.
Tips and tricks and conversation, sharing his gift with every nation.
It's art by Akerman. Art by Akerman. You best get ready, cause now it's time for Art by Akerman.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to another episode on the channel Art by Akerman. This is one of the How'd They Do That? Had a couple good conversations so far, and we've got another one lined up today. We've got an individual that's going to come and talk to us about a little thing called Patina. The little moniker he goes by, Patina Prince. So let's get him out here. Matt Stein, everybody. What's up, Matt?
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
My royal wave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I decided to wear the God's Fire shirt because of the awesome job you did on the one God's Fire piece at Legion's Con. Man, it came out fantastic.
I appreciate. Yeah, that was fun and a little intimidating being mixed in with guys like you and Jordan was there and what Steve do one?
Yeah, Steve did one. Yep.
So I was real happy to find out it was for my boy Kent. Yeah. I didn't know that character was going to be named after him. And when I found out that, so I was like, here, just take it. just take it home with you.
I did the same. I think he ended up with all of them. He ended up with the one from you, the one from me, and the one from Steven. But Steven is the only one that sold his. We both gave ours away.
Well, he asked me, and I was like, I'll give you a deal on. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? It made him so happy. I was just like, just take it. And I was just happy to be asked to be a part of the whole reveal. So for me, that was cool.
Because the other one was for Joe Gonzalez, and once I saw their reaction to the whole thing, I was like, dude, I'm just totally giving both of these things away.
Yeah, I can't wait to pay. I grabbed obviously I grabbed some extra ones at Legion's Con, so I'm excited. I haven't painted that one up yet, so I'm excited to give that one a shot.
I think you'll have fun with it. There's some details on the pauldrons that you don't really realize until you start painting it, and it starts popping out, and you're like, oh. Wow, that's Emil is very.
That's what I say. Every time I paint something from Emil, I feel that way. I'm like, crap, I didn't see that there. What am I going to do with that?
So we're here to talk about some patina today. So let's get this up here. Let's put us down at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and just start this slideshow. So this one here was a set that you did for the studio, correct?
Yeah, a couple of the guys at the studio that we all interact with a lot. I honestly, this kind of started because I was going through and sorting out my bits for the swap, by Chris James, for Legion's Con, and I started looking and I was like, you know what I could do, and then my one buddy, he prints these little filament 3D bases, so the idea just kind of. And I did one of these before for Anthony for a gift for him. I did one of his father's head sculpt.
Oh, nice.
And so I just thought it was fun. You know, I tried to hit ones that made sense. You know, like I knew instantly man, the name is not following me right now. The goat was going to be for George, just because I know he loves.
Gotcha. Yeah, Krotos.
Krotos. There you go.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of.
I love, they don't have arms and stuff, but you did include his little satchel with him. Like that's cool.
It was one of those new pieces that it was an accessory that we got instead of a belt, just that same strap. So I felt like it was iconic for him. Right.
So tell us a little bit about how you kind of got into doing this style of paint job. And what goes along with creating something like this?
Yeah, well, it's fun, and I have this unpainted one. I picked up a few more of these bases from Mythic Bits at Legion's Con because when I saw them doing that, I was like, that'd make a really cool statue base, which is, it was a figure base, but in my mind, it was a statue base.
Right.
And I had some bits and pieces, no pun intended, from just 3D customizers. And there was a set that kind of looked like a golem.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided, okay, I'm going to paint that as a statue. I tried to figure out what was going to be the best way. And so I thought I'd do originally it was going to be more of a bronze statue.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started looking at stuff like the Statue of Liberty and how green the Statue of Liberty is with her patina and how old she is.
Right.
And so I started, researching into it, and most patinas, and I still do this type of patina if I'm doing stuff like a paint match for Demistros, or I think that's how you say his name.
Yep.
Where it's just essentially a metal with a wash on it,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. But I wanted something that had texture to it, like it doesn't have to be completely smooth. I want you to be able to look at a piece and maybe see 3 or 4 different colors, a couple different greens, a couple different coppers, maybe some black shining, some dirt coming through. And the first one I don't love so much, but it was my first, and I never intended for it to become a thing.
Right.
I did. And then I got more of these bases. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do another one, because I had people asking me, "Hey, do you still have this for available?" I'm like, "No, I sold it last year."
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of took off from there. And each release I do, or each time I do it, I feel like it's fine tuning it a little bit more. And a lot
Right.
of it's feel. Like it's not just, paint this, because you can tell it's all over the place, right? So it's not
Yeah,
like,
there's some randomness to it. It's not
right,
just
right.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
it's just
mix of
not all
chaos.
over.
It's a mix of chaos and choice, and
Yeah.
that's really and I won't even call it difficult, but that's the part that just takes time, just doing it.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think this is a secret process that nobody can do. It's just I've done it so much now that I feel like I can do it in sleep. I will say the biggest hurdle that a lot of people will have with the way I do it, at least, and
Mhm.
it reminds me, because you just did a video of exploding the figures out.
Yep.
And anytime I do that, I explode the figures completely out, because I want to make sure I code it everywhere. So every time I do this, it's just exploded, little clips everywhere of parts,
Right.
for doing that. So, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
you want, we can talk about the paint process, or
let me blow you up for a second. Let me put you over here. All right.
all right. So
Yeah.
Chaos Black
Mhm.
is I've tried a bunch of different black primers, and this has become my favorite just because it's a
Same.
little bit more expensive,
Mhm.
but man, it just goes on so easy,
Mhm.
and it's great. I love it. So, and I used to use army painters, and it was fine, but for an extra $3, this is the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I really like all the Citadel primers. Like
Mhm.
there are some different colors that I'll use based on, what color figure I'm doing or whatever. But yeah, that black is definitely the gold standard.
And this might make some people a little anxious. I know some people get very tribalism about their paint. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a Citadel guy. I literally use Citadel, Vallejo, craft store paints, 2 different brands of craft store paints, and an army painter, and then a completely different brand for the sealer. So I'm all over the place. And it literally just started because I had these colors around, and I'm like, what can I do with these? So I
Yeah.
start off with it's
Well,
folk
and
art.
real quick, I just want to say, like, because we've done this is the third video now. We did one with Eric LeBron on doing like
Mhm.
stone effects, like gargoyles. We did one with Maynard where we did talked about his rust technique and how he does rust. And even in those, we kind of mentioned like this is the way you're doing it,
Right.
and so hopefully this helps somebody. But there's multiple ways to achieve this same look. So if
Yeah,
somebody
especially
finds
with
something that
patina.
works better for them, yeah,
Yep. Yep, yeah,
try
for
that.
sure. This is just and I could possibly make it a little overly complicated for some people, just because I like, just if it's just one spot on the pauldron that has these
Mhm.
multiple colors, I just like the way that looks. Uh,
Yeah.
I do start off with after I prime in black, I dry brush with it's Folk Art Metallic 666 antique copper. Uh,
Okay.
again, you can get those at Michael's or whatever, the cheap ones.
So
Uh,
that's the first step is kind of you say a dry brush of that?
Yep. Yeah. Because
Okay.
I still want in the deep crevices. I still want a little bit of black
Right.
because I
For
want
the
it to be
shadows
like
and stuff. Yeah,
shadows and it's grime and it's where
absolutely.
yeah. The next step is a 50-50 mix of Vallejo Dead White and
Mhm.
Vallejo Model Color Emerald. And
Okay.
this, so what makes my patina, what I like about doing, like my patina is like it's oversaturated.
Mhm.
Like if you look at like a real, like what's the Jesus line that Chris does?
The
Uh,
D13?
yeah, the other D13, the other 13, uh, not the zombie 13, but the other D13.
Right.
Uh, his I think it's Michael. I think it's a statue, and it's a much more realistic
Yeah,
looking
subtle.
tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very subtle. So I do a mix, and when this is more of it's a dry brush, but also kind of stippling. Like I don't want it to
Okay.
hit everywhere. I
Yep.
want to be able to see the copper still coming through. Um, and then,
And so you've got so you've got some randomness to it, but
mhm,
are you like as you're looking at it, do you in your head go, okay, I want this area to stand out a little bit more. I
yep.
want this one to be like, okay.
Yeah, with almost each one of these steps following or starting after, I mean, pretty much all of them. There's randomness and then there's some decisions that are made.
Mhm.
The next is what I'm sure a lot of people are used to using patina, which is the Citadel. I can never say this, but it's their oxidize
Yeah.
effect,
It's
which is
like
this is what
something oxide. Is that what it
yeah, something like that. It's nickeline oxide or something like that. But
yeah.
this is great on its own. Like I use
Mhm.
this when I'm doing the Demistros color
Mhm.
match. So this is great on its own. If you're just going for a subtle patina, use
Mhm.
this. I mean, it's great. And then just do a little dry brushing after you use it.
I've
And
I've even seen some people use that, like miniature painters and stuff, where they'll use a sponge and apply it, and then they'll wipe it off,
mhm,
so it stays in the crevices, but
yep,
it's not on the
yep,
like the outside.
yeah.
Um,
So
so
I mean,
yeah,
this like I said, this is great just if you just want a patina look without doing 1,400 steps.
gotcha.
That I like to do. But this is a much duller green
Mhm.
than my emerald green. So I don't hit it everywhere. I hit it heavier than others. And this is where I say that the more you do it, the more you'll feel like, oh, I like this. I don't like this. Last time I made it too heavy here. Um,
And are you stippling with that as well?
no, this is because it is like a wash. Like it is
Uh-huh.
very liquidy. It's just I put it heavier in areas and then soak it up in some other areas. And it's
Gotcha.
almost I almost kind of use it like a glaze too. Like if you
Okay.
put it thin over some of the colors, a lot of that green or
Mhm.
copper will still shine through it, but just duller.
Okay.
All right, we're almost done. And then this is a Deco Art Warren Penny. It's another craft store paint. It's a little bit brighter of a copper than this one, and
Mhm.
this is to start getting some of that wear through it.
Gotcha.
Like some of it's being wiped off. And again, this is stippled, dry brushed. This one starts I'm making more decisions than random with this one. Just because what do I you need to be mindful of what would stick out a little bit more.
Mhm.
Then this is my go-to flat primer because I like flat on everything. I'm just that guy.
Yep.
But especially on these, I think it helps bring out that and I think LeBron said it too when he was talking about his statues. It brings out that more natural looking phenomenon, which is a
Well,
stone.
and we're all customizing legions here, and that's really the aesthetic that they have. I mean, most of their
Right.
stuff does have a flat look to it,
Right.
which is probably why they use a lot of so flat paints because you get that look
Yeah.
right off the
I need to
paint.
try
So,
some of those.
oh, they're
Um,
so good. I love them.
so this was referred to me by my friend Brian Ramos.
Mhm.
I've tried a bunch of different primers or sealers. This is
Mhm.
the only one that I found that never makes anything feel sticky, including the soft, Paul or loin pieces and stuff, which army painter stuff will make that tacky. Um,
Mhm.
it's a little bit more expensive because it's smaller.
Mhm.
It's like $11 for a can, but I love it. It's my favorite, and it's I don't know how you say this, Teamor,
Tamiya.
Tamiya color, and it's
Yeah,
TS80. That's flat clear.
gotcha.
Um,
Yeah, I use the Mr. Super Clear, which is pretty good as well. But I've
Yep.
heard really good things about that Tamiya.
Yeah, I used to use the super clear, and I still have like 3 or 4 cans after I switched over to this. I this one gets a lot flatter, I feel like. So, because I kept seeing
Yeah, I
Brian
can see
stuff,
that.
I'm like, how do you get that, like some of his shading look with the, and then
Right.
that's when he turned. I probably bought. I can't even tell you how many of these I bought over the
Yeah.
past year.
See,
So
the thing for me, because I use a lot of so flat paint, like the finish is so flat that
yeah,
the Mr. Super Clear, even though it is a very matte or flat paint, it's got a little bit of shine to it,
yeah,
and so it offsets that and gives me still that finish that I'm looking for. So if I were to use like the one that you're talking about with so flat paint,
mhm.
I don't know, it might be a little too flat.
That might
But
be a little bit
yeah,
too much. All right, so
yeah.
this is the last painting step as far as the base body goes. This is greedy paint metallic. Excuse me, greedy gold metallic from War Paint Army War Paints.
Okay.
This is just for, this is very deliberate highlights on, like, and I do this after the matte sealer because I want this
Mhm.
to really shine,
Yep.
that it's like it's
Pop.
breaking through all of that crud and stuff like that. So I use this sparingly. It's really only
Mhm.
on high edges, and I like the gold on it. Again, you can use any gold you want, but that's my go-to.
That's
I
interesting to hear you say that. I've had a few people talk to me about like sealing metallics and stuff, and I've told them like typically what I do is I'll seal it and then I'll go back and apply a little bit more of the metallic afterwards. So
yeah,
hearing you're doing that is interesting, and then also that you're kind of doing coppers, and then all of a sudden it's like a highlight with a gold, which I wouldn't think to do, but clearly it works for sure.
yeah.
So
The only, I didn't bring the paints up here because it's kind of harder. Most of my patinas, I do the glowing orange eyes. Um, the reason I did that originally on the statue was because I'm not good at making backstories up on my customs. Um,
mhm.
but the idea was that it was this ancient set of armor, and then as these dwarf warriors died, their souls went into the statue, and eventually it came to life. And that
Yeah.
was energy coming through. And that's really just, it's a white. I use the same dead white base coat on the eye, and
Mhm.
I do this after this whole process because I want the eyes to be, I don't want them to be matte at all.
Yeah.
And so I do the white, and then I do either I've done both. I use a neon orange paint, and I have a couple different ones I play with. Or I'll do a mix of kind of blending some bright yellows and bright orange and reds to kind of give it that fiery effect. And then I'll hit that with a Vallejo gloss varnish. So it gives it
Interesting.
that reflection. I mean, like when you look at that dwarf lantern on the top, it's the same thing. That's why that reflection is
Mhm.
so good, is because I put thick gloss varnish on it, almost like it's thick
Yeah.
because
I
I want,
mean, this build right here,
yeah,
like, I love this sculpt, the
yeah,
whole the pauldrons and the head and all that kind of thing, and the drill arm. But it's like it was made for this style of paint job. Like
yeah.
it is just, perfect. It's so steampunk and just cool looking.
I love that set. I've painted that set probably. Now I've only painted in patina once, but I've painted it a
Mhm.
bunch of different ways.
Mhm.
When and funny thing, when Lynn got the set, because it was a Legion shop set.
Right.
When Lynn got it, because he knew I painted so many of them, he asked me some stuff, and he was like, "Oh, I'll fill those eye holes," and I'm like, "God, please no, don't do that." Like I love the depth that's because I paint the ball. Like there's no eyeball painting. I just paint the neck ball, and it
Mhm.
gives it that depth. And then I didn't even notice it. He had it up on the site, and then it was Jordan that said, "Oh, so you got a set named after you?" And I'm like, "What?" And I went to Wolfgang, and it's called the Steiner Miner, is what Lynn called it. And I messaged him.
Oh, that's
He
awesome.
said took you long enough.
He does that
Yeah,
where he will name things after
and
people,
not tell you.
and he won't say anything, and he waits to see how long it takes people to figure it out.
Yeah.
So he's Lynn's a great guy, but he's also a little shit sometimes.
Yeah. I
So
would have figured out when I went to buy some, but I have, because I've been on break. Like after Legion's Con, I said, you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy my holidays. I've got stuff
yeah.
lined up. I've been cleaning the room, my paint room up, get ready. So when January comes, I'll be going 90 to nothing. But I've just been enjoying some. I've only painted one thing since Legion's Con, and it was that you had it up earlier. It was the patina snake scales. It's the only thing I've painted since.
Oh
Legion's Con.
this one.
Yeah, the one in the middle there. That's the
Yeah.
only thing, and that was a nice.
I really like this one for the Defenders of Eden, the Armies of Ashmore that you did.
Yeah, and it was because I mean I was going up against stuff like David Williams, not going up against, but I was in the same group with David Williams and Eric
Right.
Miller, and I'm like, I can't paint this thing normal. Like,
Mhm.
I don't want to be next to those guys with just a normal look. I mean, come on, like,
Yeah.
those guys are phenomenal. I mean, there's so many phenomenal. So I was like, I can't make it a dwarf because that was my
Mhm.
first instinct. So the only thing I came up was the patina thing, and that's really when it kind of steamrolled that, okay, I guess I'm doing a lot of patina at this point.
Yeah. This one on the right, I really love not only the patina, but the eyes on that. Like, I
No,
don't
that's
know
not
what you did there, but
that
it
is
is
not
like
me.
ghost.
That is not me.
Okay,
So
what is that?
so that's the Hagnon head from Frankenstein. So I saw that head and I was like, holy crap, I got to figure something out to do a
Do the
whole
eyes
custom.
look like that on
Yes.
their own? Wow.
Yes.
I guess
So
I
that
didn't pay attention because
so when I saw that head, I'm like,
yeah.
this is going on something. And so David
I
Williams
guess
actually
just having that Red Death mask like draws your
happy
attention to it. Yeah.
accident that thing it kind of friction. Now, if you shake it, that mask is going to go flying off, but
Right.
it'll sit on there. And David Williams had just painted a head for the Frankenstein, and so he
Yeah.
kind of gave me what he used for his paint match, and I kind of took
Mhm.
that, kind of tweaked it with the paints I had, and I was real happy. I used Red Death arms and legs and stuff like that to do that. So yeah, it was one of my favorite pieces. That one definitely went pretty quick at Legion's Con.
That's cool.
So
So
it was fun.
so yeah, you know, you're talking about this stuff, and these are great, and thank you so much for sharing this technique
Mhm.
with the folks. But I need to talk about this whole Patina Prince, moniker thing. And it's, I'm not saying that it's bad to have a moniker or to have like a certain style that you like. I just talked to Maynard last week, and he'll flat out tell you like, hey, I can't paint details, I can't paint clean stuff,
Yeah.
but I love making damage and rust and all
Right.
this and that. So like the Rust King moniker for him, I think works.
Right.
The reason I don't like the Patina Prince for you is because I feel like it sets you as a kind of, this is what you do.
Right.
And that is not just what you do, because you do stuff like this
Yeah.
with like the glowing eyes.
Mhm.
You do stuff like this that is just absolutely freaking amazing. And so the one thing I wanted to make sure before we leave here, and anybody that's watching this, while Matt does an amazing patina, and we're so thankful that he shared those things with us, he is not a one-trick pony, folks. He has got some amazing paint jobs, and he should be mentioned with all the greats in the community. Like I said, not a one-trick pony. So that's my one problem I have with that
No.
moniker.
And
Yeah.
honestly, it's a thing that, like, I'll be honest with you, I have like 40 customs lined up. None of them are patina right now.
Yeah.
Just because I did the one snake mostly because I was jealous of watching everybody else play with these snakes, do these
Right.
paint jobs. So it was something fun I could do with it, and I wanted to see because I'd never done, because it is controlled chaos, so I've never done controlled
yeah.
chaos in that small of an area.
Mhm.
So it was a little bit trickier that way. But yeah, I love the patina, and I will continue to do the patina, and I may incorporate it into some customs, like a piece of armor or something on the armor. But I don't want to be just patina. Like that's
sure.
not exciting for me. It's one of the reasons why. I mean, I don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing it,
Mhm.
but it's one of the reasons I don't like painting just heads. And I know we all do it because people's budgets, that's what they can afford, and
Right.
supporters great at anyway. But I like to know what it's going to be from top to bottom. So I love
Absolutely.
doing full customs. So yeah, I will be doing patina next year, I'm sure, but it won't be in the first couple months. Other than I have some gift ideas that I'm working on for somebody. But as far as customs, I got a bunch of dwarf customs. I want to paint up a couple more sets of these new God's Fire stuff. I picked up a lot of great sets or pieces at Legion's Con. So I think I shared a photo with you where you talked about on one of your videos about having those little tubs of how you keep your customs together, that your projects you got coming.
Yeah.
And last time I shared with you, I think I had like 12 or 14 of them. I've added like another 8 since then, because I cleaned my art room up because it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So because when I get into painting, I'm not the cleanest person. Like, it's just stuff everywhere. And but to start, so yeah, I
Wow.
appreciate you calling out the non-patina stuff, because I do
Yeah,
like the
like this
non-patina stuff
skeleton.
more.
This skeleton on the left is so freaking good. Like, I love the colors here. I love I mean, the crispness of the details is just like, there is no spot that's out of place. It just looks great. You're the dwarf demon on the right, like all of this, like, you do some amazing stuff. And so, when people mention the greats, Emil and Eric Miller and all that, like, your name should be right up there with those folks.
Well,
So
I
I just
really
want people to
appreciate
know
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm coming up on my 2-year anniversary in February, so I want to have something to post on my anniversary of painting, so I can have that. I love looking back, and I think I just posted in the Cabal because Jeremy and Lynn just did the last episode of Mythic Customs, and they brought
Mhm.
up me talking about painting the dots, because that's literally how I started with Jeremy's video of.
Mhm.
I think he calls it something else, details or something, but I call it doing the dots or painting, whatever I called it.
Yeah, but it's funny because I've got my video that drops tomorrow morning
Mhm.
is called Paint the Dots La 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 La.
Yeah.
So
I
so it's, yeah,
I mean,
very timely.
we all start that way. Like,
Yeah.
it because the sculpts are so great that it brings the dry brush and dots. If that's all you did, and
Mhm.
then buy some custom heads from other people, you have amazing looking figures on your shelf.
Yeah.
Or even just some good pop and swaps with, a custom head. I mean, you don't have to go crazy on it, but some of us get a little obsessive, and like the Lynn sent me the skeleton chest and that skull because he's like, I want you to do something different, because obviously I've been
Mhm.
doing a lot of dwarfs, and he's like, I want to challenge you. And I'd never done a skeleton custom.
Yeah.
And anytime you think about skeletons, they're always grimy and dark, and so I went, well, he got a crown. He's a
Yeah.
fancy
He's a
skeleton.
little bit of a fancy boy, yeah. I mean,
So
look at his mustache and everything. That looks
yeah,
manicured
I
too. Like,
I,
it's, yeah,
I gave
he's
him some gold teeth. I mean, like
yeah.
I put some blood or wine in his goblet there that I don't know where I got that from. You know how it is. You
I
end
think,
up with random bits and pieces, and you have
yeah,
no idea where they came
I'm
from.
pretty sure that was a my action figure custom one, but yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me because it just showed up
Yeah.
in one of the boxes. So,
Yeah.
but no,
Well,
yeah,
this stuff is great, man. And yeah, I just for sure keep it up because you're doing a fantastic job.
I
So
appreciate it, man, and loving the new videos, and excited
thank
to
you.
see where it goes.
Appreciate it. Well, folks, that was talking a little bit about patina. So try your hand at it. Let us know. Tag Matt, tag myself in the Cabal if you end up doing one,
Please.
and let's see what you come up with. So hopefully this has inspired somebody to try their hand at some of this. The good thing about some of these things that we've talked about, whether it's stone or rust or this, is there's no like perfect right
Nope.
way to do this, right? There's a little bit of chaos to this, to where you almost can't make a mistake, because sometimes if you make a mistake, it actually makes it look more real,
Mhm.
if that makes
Yep.
sense.
Yep. Happy mistakes.
um yeah,
I
so
I want to add one more thing.
yeah.
When you asked me to do this, I'm so glad, because I had this conversation about a dozen times at Legion's Con, and I
Now
probably
you
get
can just refer people to the
I
video.
will. You will get lots of views from me, because every time somebody asks me how I do that, I send them a picture of all the paints, and I type it all out, and I'm like, you know what? Just go watch this video. There you go.
There you go.
So I appreciate this. I don't have to
That'll be-
record anything now.
Absolutely. And that's kind of the idea. So we've got several more of these lined up, folks. If there's a certain artist or style in the community that you'd like to see more of, let me know and I'll see what I can do. But Matt, appreciate your time. Thanks for jumping on with us. And we will see you later.
See ya.
All right. So, folks, that was another episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and we'll keep bringing you more content. Every Tuesday, we're going to be dropping one of these, how they do that. I've got a lot of different artists lined up. There may be a couple weeks where we drop a couple instead of just on Tuesday. Maybe we do a Tuesday and a Thursday. So just be on the lookout. But this will have its own playlist. And hopefully this helps you guys get started, get inspired to do one of these. And like I said, if you do, make sure you tag us and let us know so that, you know, the whole idea with this channel and these videos is really to help folks. So if we can see that you used it and, you know, you created something, that's awesome. That's like the whole reason for this. So, all right. Talk to you folks later. See ya.